Last year, we had a massive earthquake in Turkey. We visualized the massive destruction, the colossal loss. If such an earthquake, such a massive earthquake would be there in northern Indian plains, what could be the situation? Simply, it could be a colossal, a doomsday loss to India. Do you know what would happen, really what would happen to India if we had a massive earthquake in northern Indian plains? Do you know? Just look at this map. Just look at, see, in the name of UP, we have Brazil here. Do you know what do you mean by this one? The UP population in 2023 it is around 25 to 26 crore. You know, this is the population of UP equal to Brazil. You know, the fifth largest, the fifth populous country on the planet now. Next, Japan. Japan is also top 10 populous country. The present Bihar population, even after the division, the present Bihar population equal to Japan, the top 10 populous country. Similarly, look at Nepal. This Punjab is equal to Nepal in terms of population. This Uttarakhand, around 1.5 crore population equal to Cuba. You know, and also this Jammu, this Himachal Pradesh equal to Laos, Southeast Asian nation. West Bengal equal to Vietnam, fastest growing economy. You know, now we had a controversy with Canada. This state Jharkhand is equal to the population of Canada. So in this way, the northern Indian states from Punjab to up to West Bengal, Assam, even Assam, equal to Saudi Arabia. You know, these 10 states. You know, the entire population of the 10 states is equal around 75 crores. You know, how much is 75 crore? 75 to 80 crore population is equal to or more than the entire population of Europe and North America put together. That is what such a huge population, tremendous population we had in northern plain. This entire northern belt comes under this earthquake prone area. Earthquake prone area. See, look at this map. This is what area. This is the red area is the fifth zone in terms of seismic fifth zone. This below zone. This comes under the fourth seismic zone. So these two are the most dangerous most dangerous earthquake zone in layman language. You know, this every year we have an earthquake in this zone of northern plains, northern part of northern plains. Every 2.5 years we have a massive earthquake in the Himalayan zone. That is what this Himalayan belt, especially greater, lower Shivalik and middle Himalayan belt. So this is the area, one of the worst seismological zone of the earth surface. Why India is prone to such a earthquakes? Before going to discuss about the massive, colossal and doomsday situation, we have to discuss why this is the area, why this is prone to mostly earthquakes and par with this ring of fire belt of the earth. See, look at this map. This is what the area. This is the area where Indian subcontinent is there. There are two important belts as far as the seismology, that is what earthquakes are concerned. This is what the area all along the Pacific Ocean. This is known as ring of fire. This is around 80% of earthquakes are situated in this belt. The second highest belt is this mid-continental belt. This is what area? This is start from the Atlantic Ocean to all along this Mediterranean Sea and this Persian Gulf, this Black Sea, Caspian Sea and Persian Gulf, and in this way Hindu Kush, Himalayas and the South Asian, and finally along the Southeast Asian Indonesian island, and finally met with the ring of fire. You know, this is the Himalayan belt. It passes through Indian subcontinent. That is why this India comes under the heavy earthquake zone. It is susceptible to high intensity, high magnitude earthquakes on Richter scale, even up to 9, up to 10 sometimes. In 2004, this tsunami, Indian Ocean tsunami happened in Burma belt, Burma, in this area, in the Bay of Bengal. This is very near to India. This is the part of this Indian seismological zone. You know, this can be clearly explained by and elucidated by plate tectonics theory. Why this comes under this heavy high magnitude earthquake? The plate tectonics theory explains. The plate tectonics theory saying that whenever these two plates collide with each other, are coming towards each other, this is the zone of collision, plate collision. Okay, whenever two plates comes to each other, the heavier plate is subducts on the lighter plate. You know, the Indo-Australian plate. This is what Indo-Australian plate. This is Australia and India. This plate is moving towards north, whereas Eurasian plates, look at this plate is moving southward. Because of this collision all along the Himalayas, this Indian heavier plate is subducts on the Eurasian plate at the rate of 5 centimeters per annum, which means 5 centimeters. It is penetrating under the Eurasian plate 5 centimeters per annum. At the same length, same level, the Himalayas are rising around 5 centimeters per annum. This is a massive geological and geophysical activities happening. So this is a highly active zone, which means that Indian plate is active, comes to the equilibrium state. That is why the huge force is piling up. It is periodically it is releasing in the form of tremors, that is known as earthquakes. You know, that is why this India is also one of the susceptible to one of the high magnitude earthquakes. So if such a massive earthquake happened in India, okay, if such a massive earthquake, if we had such a massive earthquake in India, what would be the situation? This is what the discussion point, and also what kind of measures we have to take. This is very important. This is the Japanese building, a huge building is tilting, is destroyed completely during the Japanese earthquake. This is the Japanese Kobe city area. You know, such a massive. Now, during the earthquakes, do you know this tremors? This is the L, P and S waves, surface waves, and mostly these L waves are creating a destruction. This entire earth is like move like a ball. During the 2004 earthquake, you know what had happened? This earth is also moved few centimeters from its axis or around the sun. Such a massive, huge force, a tremendous, immeasurable force will be released during the earthquake. Especially those earthquakes, if you have earthquakes on the magnitude of around 9 on the Richter scale. This is what the situation. You know, as far as this colossal loss, you know, if we had such a massive earthquake, especially more than 6 on Richter scale, especially in the not in the Himalayan belt, this is what India. So this is what Himalayan belt, Nepal, this one. But this is the 5th zone, a huge earthquake zone. But less intensity compared to this zone is, this is what northern India. These states like Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, these union territories, western UP, Bihar, this Chhattisgarh, West Bengal and Assam and Northeast India. These 9-10 states comes under this 4th dangerous seismic zone in India. This most of the earthquakes will be more than 6 on Richter scale. You know what would happen? This intensity, though this is more than around 6 only, the intensity, the destruction is very huge in northern Indian plains. Why? Because these are the alluvial flat plains. These are sponge and also slow moving these perennial rivers. Because of this, the mix of these perennial rivers, water and rich groundwater source, aquifers, all coupled with these alluvial soils will become more flexible. That's why liquidification. So we will have liquidification. A wet waterlogging soils will be formed. These will create more disastrous, and also the most important, why they are disastrous, ruinous and colossal and doomsday in nature, because if we had more than 6 on Richter scale, the crores of the people will die, millions of the people will die, because this is the high density population zone and one of the highest densiest population zone on the earth. Around 75 crore people are living in this area, which means in other words, this area is accounts for only 25% of the land area. But however, this zone, wherever this zone is accommodating, 50% population of India, 75 crore, which means highest density, because this is a resources rich, and this is the core area of the Indian civilization. That is what Ganga plains and Indus plains, rich agricultural tracts, favorable climate, flat lands. So that's why we have a perennial civilization, backed by perennial. This is the flat alluvial soils and perennial rivers. So that is why, though it accounts for 25% of land area of India, it accommodates 50% of India's population. If such a this high density population zone, if it is subjected to these earthquakes, at least moderate to heavy, we will have a destruction, colossal destruction in this area. That is the main reason. If such a earthquakes happened in a desert area, no problem. If it is happened in mountainous area, no problem. But if it had happened in this area, we could see this is the heavy destruction. That is the main reason. So what would be the consequences? Property loss, life loss, loss of life. These are the common destruction, common. What would be the effect on India? What could be the effect on India? India is the fastest growing economy now. India is rising at the rate of around 6.5 to 7% of the growth process. So it is already 5th largest economy. It is going to become the 3rd by 2027 and 2nd largest economy by 2047. That is what India had handed. So this growth process will be derailed because if we had such a massive earthquake in northern plains, that is the major consequences. Do you know what would happen? I repeat, if we had a massive colossal earthquake, at least more than 6 Richter scale in northern plains, okay, the possibility is around 90% now, because according to this geological and physiographic reports, etc. Every 100 years there is a massive earthquake. The earlier massive earthquake in 2001 in this area, leave it this one, but in 1991 we had Uttarkashi earthquake. In the first decade of this century, we had earthquakes in Nepal. Few days back, we had continuous tremors in Nepal area. And earlier in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh. In 1934, we had a massive earthquake in Bihar area. Okay, thousands people were died during the freedom struggle, even after the Salt March. So every decade we had an earthquake here. Now this is the area we are going to have a big earthquake here. If it had happened, the growth process, the fastest growing process will be derailed, will be stopped. That will affect India, which means India will get back to few decades. Okay, we can't compete with the other major nations like China in the economic developmental process. Millions of the people will die. A huge massive structures are there from the Amritsar up to Calcutta. We had around 50 cities, 3 dozens heavy cities are there. Around 20 million plus cities, million plus population cities are there. A huge urban infrastructure, a huge transport network. So these all will be collapsed. So we have to reconstruct it. It is not easy to such a developing country. So it needs billions of dollars. Already we are investing trillions of dollars regarding this Amritsar, this Calcutta industrial corridor, etc. They will be stopped. So entire growth process will be reduced. Already we have the 3 industrial regions, this Delhi Amritsar industrial region, Calcutta, this Calcutta industrial region, Hubli, and also below Chota Nagpur, very nearby to this one. These 3 industrial regions will be affected. So half of the population of India will be affected. So whatever that situation, this direct, forget about the direct, this public, this buildings, property, transport network, etc. But the growth process will be derailed. India will back to these 2 decades, 1990s. So we will have a situation of 1990s. We have to start to rise from the ashes. This would be the colossal and doomsday loss to India, especially when it is going, when it is competing with the nations like China. So this would, we can't imagine this loss. So what we have to do? We can't avoid it, but we can take this some precautionary step. What would be the precautionary step? India immediately, Indian government and state government should alert the people for to meet the forthcoming, the colossal day, the doomsday. So how to? They, at least from now onwards, we have to give the permission to earthquake code buildings only. Already whatever the buildings we had, these billions of billions, buildings are not in accordance with the building code, earthquake code. That is why we will have this colossal loss. Okay, we should follow the earthquake code of the Japan. Japan is the one of the best nation in order to disprove. If such a another important surprising fact is, if such a massive earthquake had happened, if it had happened in Japan, they would not have any loss, because they have already constructed the buildings in accordance with the this building code or earthquake code. Their buildings can afford even up to 7 or up to 9 on Richter scale. Okay, that is the situation. So we should follow this route of Japan. Even from now onwards, we should construct, we give permission to building strictly in accordance with the earthquake code. That is what. And we should prepare the disaster, National Disaster Management Act is there. Already we had a best setup, systematic setup, governance setup is there. That should be prepared in a way to meet this massive earthquake. That would be the best situation. And we should, this state government, all state government in Northern Indian belt, along with this central government, which is the resource rich, should be appointed a committee, a joint appointed committee led by this Home Ministry to meet the forthcoming. It may come at any point of time. It may come at any point of time. You know, in 2001, while the Vajpayee government is celebrating this Republic Day celebration in the north of this Rajpath area, we had an earthquake in Japan, this Gujarat area, Bhuj area, 2001 on January 26. Around thousands of people were dead. We had an experience. We have an experience. If it happened in an earthquake in Delhi, Noida, this Lucknow, this Calcutta or Pune, in whatever that happened, the million people will die. You know, the loss will be dangerous, it will be affected. This earthquake will, the consequences and tremors and everything will have 1 decade. The consequence, because this is the sponge area. This perennial rivers will be diverted, will be change their directions, flood, okay, liquidifications, etc., etc. That is why we can't imagine. That's why I am using the word colossal, doomsday. So India should meet. India should deposit every available resources to meet the forthcoming loss. It has, in other words, as a last word, I want to alert everybody that if it had happened, if it is very dangerous to India, it can derail India. It can derail the economic growth process. It can stop the growth process, developmental process of India. That is why we should take care. We should take care of ourselves. There is no, we can't prevent it. We can't reduce it. Though we can estimate it, we can't prevent that day. So this is the time to take measures. What kind of measures? Simply be prepared, be alert.